Hey, good morning there. The most incredible, beautiful, huge rainbow to my right. I'm traveling south. And let me tell you that evidence that it's magnetic is the fact that when I first saw the rainbow, the southern side of the rainbow was highlighted a great deal, immensely highlighted in colour. And I thought that maybe it's because we're in the southern hemisphere. But now the rainbow is highlighted to the northern side of the bow. And it's to do with the line, the force from underneath. And, okay. So what's happening is the force from underneath is on the move. And as it moves and forces the partial ley line, the very short section of the ley line, as it forces it into the air, the force from underneath is also moving slightly from south to north. It's gone now, but that is absolutely, positively a very strong, very intense fact. It's not a theory, it's a fact that the southern part of the rainbow is highlighted first when it first appears, then the middle, of course, and then the north, and the south fades. There you go. That's no raindrops. Sorry to say that. I don't like to be negative to someone else's work. Hey, who does? But for the moment, we're going to stick with rainbows are magnetic until we know more about it. They are. That's got to be locked in for at least the next 500 years. So enjoy your day. I'm going to put this up. Have a great day, folks. It's Tuesday. G'day again. Just to tell you that when the rainbow had disappeared, right. Okay. So what I told you was, in the book called The Holy Grail of Science, is that there are three strongest lines at the pole of every magnet. Now, those lines that span out from our sun across the solar system, in the book, the front of the book, the diagram in the front of the book, it only depicts the center line. I wrote about that in the book. The other two lines, one each side, which are slightly weaker, only ever slightly weaker, that is reflected in the neap tides. Those lines either side, so there's three lines at every pole. Now the force from underneath that generates or creates a rainbow, not generates because it creates, it's a mechanical force. But mechanical force, it's a mechanical result, but a magnetic force mechanically pushing, like the iron filings can be deflected by moving a stronger magnet into the field of the magnet that's under the piece of paper. So when I saw that rainbow just now disappear, I had a glimpse actually in the rear view mirror. I adjusted the rear view mirror over to that side, and I saw a very faint northern partial, very partial rainbow colours. Now, what's happening there is, as I just mentioned, the force from underneath is moving through the very short section of the ley line to force it up into the air temporarily. But the force from underneath at 7 o'clock in the morning is moving just slightly diagonally from east to west, or from west to east. I'm not absolutely certain just yet. But what I can tell you is, as I just said, the rainbow highlights from the south, then it highlights into the north, because that force from underneath is, no, I may be wrong with that. I don't think it is moving slightly diagonally through the rainbow. I think what happens is there are three lines, and maybe, just maybe, one of the weaker lines highlights the south of the rainbow, then the entire rainbow gets highlighted, and then the north gets highlighted when the line the other side. Or I'll go with what I thought at first. I didn't see any partial south get highlighted. I saw a very half south of the rainbow get highlighted, and then the north was, then there was a full rainbow, and then there was a right-hand side highlighted. And what I thought was that the line was moving diagonally. The energy of the force from underneath was moving diagonally, and it had the cause to highlight south and then north. But then there was a section where it was full, an entire rainbow, and that's when the middle part of the line was directly underneath. So then it disappeared, and I only saw a very partial northern section, very small partial northern section highlighted very strongly. And I think that was one of those lines either side of the three. And very obviously, very obviously, I was going to say that trailing line, the neap tide line, the slightly weaker sign each side of the centre line, was the one that highlighted the north that I saw, the partial north. But I think it may be just like a compass, that if a compass is pointing north, then the compass needle, the end of the compass needle, is a south. Is it that the neap tide line, the weaker line each side of the centre line, when it highlighted, one of those lines highlighted that very partial north, was that in a south polarity to make the magnetic energy more intense? Or was it that it was in a north polarity and that made the magnetic energy more intense? More intense because it was repelling the line from underneath. So that means the force from underneath that makes a rainbow is a repelling energy. I'm in the southern hemisphere. Oh, okay. So the northern partial rainbow that was there must have been a south polarity. And the line, the center line that made the full rainbow, that must have been a south polarity as well. I didn't see a very partial, very short section of the rainbow in the south. I didn't see the beginning of the rainbow. I only saw it when it was a half rainbow in the south. Then I noticed, because I wasn't watching it all the time, it did go at a glimpse to a full rainbow, and then a half northern rainbow, then disappeared, and I saw a very partial north rainbow. So it was a southern line. I'm in the southern hemisphere. That creates a repelling energy. And let's look out for the next one, folks. Very obviously, every southern hemisphere rainbow is caused by a south magnetic energy from underneath. But where it's coming from, I'm unsure. Maybe from the solar system next door, which is 1,000 times bigger, or there's another one in the to the left of our hemisphere, which is 100 times bigger. Every sun has 4 lines that span from it, and if you read the book, you'll love it in the first, I think, 20 or 30 pages, how I describe how each sun across our entire galaxy was formed. It really is magical. And those moments I had in awe, those moments of aha that I had, you witness those moments in this video as I'm realizing some of the facts now. Truly beautiful. Nature is truly beautiful. Just arriving in Coolangatta at the moment. Going to go to the library. Anyhow, have a great day, folks. It's been great discovering this on the trip down. I'll load both these videos up onto YouTube. And good morning again there, folks. What I want to show you is, what I'd really love to show you is that guy that's out there on one of those electric surfboards. Oh, he's just jumped the wave going back into the ocean. As the wave rolled in, wow, unreal. So what I want to tell you is that while I was driving the car there, that you saw a little bit of how things come through, we call it, on platform when in the church, and especially when I mention the church a lot because that's where my the basis of my teachings and experience and to hone in came from. In readings and whatnot as well, people have experienced the mediumship. But while I was driving, you saw some of the points come through. And what happens is that I'll be told a particular thing, as you saw, and then I'll start to doubt whether I've got it correct. My own thoughts, the basis of my own magnetics coming through. The teachings that I had in magnetics, magnetic theory in electrical college, are more or less like the cards that I use or used to use in readings, and they were the thin end of the wedge to expand on a particular subject. I won't go into the detail as to how I used to read, but what I want to tell you is this, that this morning I was remembering this morning that Come on. I was remembering this morning that one particular morning I woke up. I didn't say a word. Actually, I think I was alone. I didn't say anything to anyone. I didn't speak out on what was going through my mind, like I am now, per se. But I did have some thoughts that I thought were of grandeur. Some people say that I have thoughts of grandeur, but I thought I had thoughts, and that does happen. That does happen. Um, it's hard to decipher the messages sometimes by the thoughts of grandeur when you're elated, uh, so elated about a particular thing you've just been told by Spirit, by your guides, by God, by the Holy Spirit, whatever you want to call it. Oh, he's just come a gutser on the. So, um, a message from Spirit isn't a thought of grandeur, but this particular morning I thought I was having thoughts of grandeur, and pay attention in school this morning, mate. So, um, so what happened was this particular morning, I woke up. I thought I was having highlighted thoughts, or whatever you want to call them, because I had a particular spirit speaking to me, and um, I won't say. Uh, I won't say just now who I thought it was, but I will say that I couldn't conceive that a spirit like that uh, would talk to me. Would have some reason to be talking to me, and talking to me very clearly, very, very clearly, and hey, really well spoken. But not well spoken to do. Just very clear and uh, I can't use the word respectful, but just very well spoken. Um, and so I asked, because of the subject, I asked who that was talking to me, and very clearly she said Elizabeth, and I couldn't think of anyone that I knew named Elizabeth. And she then said the second, and I said, "Are you talking about? Were you Her Majesty, the Queen, Elizabeth II?" And she said, "Yes, that's right." And I thought, and she, I just totally, absolutely, totally disregarded what I heard, and so what happened was, um, I I had breakfast, the usual thing. Had breakfast and my veggie blast, and headed out the door, went for a walk, and I was actually contemplating, uh, you know, why Elizabeth II would be talking to me, and I was in such hesitation, like you're seeing now, about actually talking about it to you, because uh, there's not going to be a fantastic repercussion with me talking about this in public. So listen, what happened to me later on in the day was confirmation, absolute confirmation, that she was there, because I did not. I mean, if you think you're talking to Elizabeth II, Queen Elizabeth, Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, early in the morning when you wake up, and you start talking about that in public, you're you're in you're in big trouble. It's bad enough telling some people that you heard Elvis say something, and they'll have a chuckle and a laugh, and even if they're readers, they'll still look at you with an obscure You know, somebody might think that it's just a great big pile of anyway. So what happened was, I said, I asked us a particular thing. She told me a particular made a particular statement, and I said okay. And so what happened was, I went about my day, and about just after lunch, I went to visit a really, really dear friend of mine, an absolutely lovely lady. We were like sisters together in our conversations, and uh, and anyhow, uh, she opened up a little bit to nothing enormous. Just we were just chatting about life, and she happened to mention something that a occupation or position she had, and that position was with the royal family, and in particular Queen Elizabeth, Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. Um, and I told her what happened that particular morning, and that helped her to understand that I probably should have said it first to her, but I didn't say it first of all to her, which would have told her that I was legitimate. I waited until she actually said something. Um, I mean, I didn't think that she would be able to relate to it anyway, because I didn't know that she worked for the Queen. So just like talking to Elvis, you don't talk about those sorts of things. They become personal subjects, personal conversations. But they always, all of them always apply somewhere in your life at some time or another. Anyhow, so I didn't mention it first. I kept it to my personal thoughts, let's say. Oh, wow, that's what we're waiting for today. Right now, there's another rainbow. um, wow. And it's highlighted. Uh, what time is it? It must be about 8 o'clock, an hour after the last one. And it's highlighted to the left. This is what we're here for, folks. It's moving from the left-hand side of the southern side of the rainbow. It's moving to the right, to the center. It's definitely a force that is moving across from south to north, because it's only a center section of the rainbow now. I should have the camera turned around, but there are some people walking the track, and I don't want to have them on video. Take it from my word, this rainbow is in the center now, only in the center highlighted. It's moving to the north, highlighted, center, and partial north. Oh my God. Oh my God, I can't believe this. Yeah. It's now moving to the north. There's nothing in the south. There's nothing in the center. And it's to the north. Wow, that's just glorious. It really is. And let me tell you that in the center, when it was highlighted in the center, was bare sky. It's definitely not highlighted by water drops. That's just a visual, and it's now highlighted to the northern side, and it's disappearing. There's too many buildings for me to see it any further. So I was trying to figure out this morning what I was supposed to say in this video, which was important, and seeing that rainbow just now is a good explanation of what I was going to tell you. That you saw me this morning talking on video, and I seemed to be stalling to time, and I felt like I was, but that's what I was stalling in time for, to see that rainbow come out. Now, I remembered just now what it was I wanted to actually tell you, the story about Queen Elizabeth, Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II was a filler. And so what happened was, this morning, when I left home, I went for a drive on the service road and started going down all the side streets. I didn't know exactly what I was looking for, but I was certainly learning about some of the manufacturing and industrial and storage and sales places that are down the side roads near my home. And I thought, well, I'll go down this road as well. And there was really nothing there except for a couple of factories being built. And I didn't know what was happening. But what was actually happening was I was stalling for time, because I should have stayed at home a little longer, and I would have been right on time to see that rainbow that I spoke about while I was driving. Thank God for the Bluetooth magic button. And so it wasn't until after I saw the rainbow, when I arrived here and finished driving after concentrating on my driving, that I realised that all of that stalling in the back streets was so that I could be on time for the rainbow that appeared while I was driving along. That's what I wanted to tell you in this third section of the video. And that stalling was occurring again, and no time wasted. I told you the story about Queen Elizabeth, which helps some of the readers and helps some of those that are wanting to learn more about mediumship and etc., about being a spiritualist, or and want to learn more about God. I don't do a great deal of prayer. All of my prayer, so to speak, is through contemplation about godly things and etc. And nowadays I don't do a great deal of that anymore. But when I do that, it's of quite serious, quite technical, quite important subjects. I don't have a great deal of obscure contemplation of God, or of subjects that I take to God nowadays. It's not as if I've got to throw all the encyclopedias out on God. God is, as the American Indians said, great mystery. And you've seen a bit of that great mystery this morning through watching these videos and watching me describe how I stall for time. And you saw the stalling for time firsthand. Really wonderful, really, really wonderful. Wow. This really is a fantastic area down here in Coolangatta. I don't think there's any greater place you'd want to live in Australia. I'd love to be able. I think I'd love to be able to put another van together, and do some travel. But it's time now, as a single guy, to settle down. Is it possible to settle down in a big van? And well, I guess it is, if you can become a teacher and teach a child, even a high school child, the mathematics and English, etc. Well, anyhow, enough about my personal life. I would actually love to be able to meet. Anyhow, romance isn't something that's meant to be delivered to you in a newspaper at your doorstep every morning. And not only romance, but life itself is meant to be like a romantic stroll through the parks or something. You're not meant to know in life what is around the corner every 5 minutes. And when I do a reading and it involves relationships, I normally show them or adjust or give them a little tweak on some particular aspect of their life, and that helps them to come in alignment in alignment with the person that they're wanting to meet. And so that's what's also happening for me right now. I'm undergoing a little bit of a tweak, a little bit of a slight adjustment, and I'll be back on track. So here comes somebody to come and have a chat, and I'll say hello. Have a great day, folks.